Hey guys, Big Time Collector 01 here, back at it again with another action figure face-off. And today we'll be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Classic Sy-klone versus the Masters of the Universe Masterverse New Eternia Sy-klone. So yeah, I mean they're the same character, but yeah, we're going to be taking a look at these two lines. I've been wanting to compare the Classics line to the Masterverse line for quite a while now, and what better way to do it with this, with, the face-off and, with these two characters. So, well, yeah, these two look great. I'm very excited to open both of these up. So let's get to it and start round one off. Starting with round one, we have packaging. Taking a look at the Classic Sy-klone first. So you can see he comes on that standard Masters Universe Classics, blister card, which looks great. I've always loved these packagings. It always feels so, condensed, and I really do like it. I've always liked these green bricks. You can see it, in the background as well. You get the name and the, their little, I don't know what this would be like. Just their tagline, I guess. Heroic fist flinging tornado. Adult collector. It looks great. Always such a classic box. On the side you don't get much here. On the other side you don't get much there. On the back you get a pretty long write up. If you want to read it, pause it right now. And then you get some other figures from the line. Very retro. I really do like how retro this box feels. Moving on to the Masterverse box. This is, the new standard with the beautiful artwork on the front, Masterverse at the top. Really, again, seeing this artwork is really nice. You get the name here, you get more artwork on the side here, and you get some product shots on the back, other figures from the wave, and then you get, the little bio on the back here if you want to read it, pause it right now. And then here's the barcode if you want to, screenshot that. There you go. Both these packagings are really great. I love how both of them look. I really like how, classic and vintage the classic one is. It just, it's just such a recognizable packaging for, now. And then now we have the new Masterverse one. I really like these new packaging styles for the Masterverse figures. I love the artwork. It's so much better than the older one. But I can't really decide which one I like best, so this round is a draw. Moving on to round two, we have accessories. Starting off with the Masterverse figure, he comes preloaded with these two gripping hands, but he doesn't have anything to hold. But if you want, you can pop these out. And what would the heroic fist-flinging tornado be without a pair of fists? So having these options is a great addition. He also comes with this translucent yellow shield that can be plugged into his forearms, these peg holes, like so, or into his back. And then he comes with these two red swish effects, which look really cool. Like, it really gives some motion to the figure, and it looks awesome. You can plug these into the forearms, or you can take both of them and plug them into the shield, which is a really cool option, which is awesome. I really do like that. Like, again, it just gives some motion to the figure, and that's such a cool option. And finally, he comes with this face mask, which looks really cool. So what you do is you just slide it onto the figure like so. You just put it in, you put the notches into the helmet, and then you just slide it on like so, and then bam. That looks really cool. It's an interesting look to Sy-klone. It's like, I don't think we've ever seen him look like this before, with this red face mask, but it looks awesome. I really do like it. It gives him a very unique look, and I really appreciate it. And I like how it's a face mask and not an interchangeable head, so that's really cool. The classic Sy-klone also comes with a shield. It's more, opaque, and it invokes the, vintage shield. But this one you can clip onto his wrist like so. It has a clip instead of a peg system. You can just clip it on like that, and he's ready to go. He also comes with this red ring thing. I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it's supposed to give him a more 2000X look. So you can plug it into his back like so, and have it look like this. And I actually really do like how this looks. It actually gives, breaks up all that, color. It gives him some more red. And it's just more visually pleasing to look at. I do like that. And the 2000X figure, I think this came down. You can't, slide it down like the 2000X figure, but you can slide it up like this and plug it in, and there you go. I really think that looks cool. That way he has a blade, but he can also hold it since, there's like a handle to it, so he can hold it like so since he has two gripping hands. And that's also a pretty neat option. And speaking of 2000X, there's an accessory for Sy-klone that actually does not come in the packaging. Not included with this figure comes a 2000X inspired head. Like I said, it doesn't come with the figure. It actually came with a separate release of... It came in an accessory head pack called the Heads of Eternia that was separate from this figure. The accessories that come with Sy-klone are pretty cool. I like that red ring. He has to come with a shield, and the alternate head is cool. But I do like how it's optional, because if you don't want this alternate head, you don't have to buy that head pack. So yeah, that's cool. It's optional. But this new Eternia version of Sy-klone has a lot more accessories, having the interchangeable hands, those effect pieces that can be ported onto his wrist and to the shield. It's just, more fun options and playability. And that face mask, again, just really changes up the look to the figure. So this round goes to New Eternia. Moving on to the next round, we have Paint and Sculpt. Starting off, we're going to be taking a closer look at the New Eternia Sy-klone first. Starting off with the head. As you can see, it looks great. I do like the head sculpt. He's got that, classic looking helmet to him. He's got the blue face. He's got these added lines to him, which look really cool. And then the rest of the figure looks freaking awesome. I love the metallic blues and golds that they used for this figure. It just really stands out. I really do like the design of this figure overall. Like, I love the New Eternia line. I really like how they are making new original designs that still feel classic. And this is no exception. This is definitely a new original design, but definitely feels classic. And I do really like the metallic blues and the golds. The gold is actually casted out of the marbleized plastic, so you'll see some marbleization and swirly twirlies in there. But it doesn't bother me. It's not as noticeable, but I know some people don't like the marbleized plastic. Moving down to the arms, again, they're marbleized gold, but you get the blue here and the red rings. I like these blue, shoulder or bicep thingies. They, they're casted out of these translucent blue, which look great. I really do like how they look. And just overall, the figure itself just looks amazing with these colors. I can't complain a single thing about it. It looks awesome. As the Masterverse version went for a more new original look, the opposite can be said for the new the classics version of Sy-klone. This goes for a more vintage style look. And then putting him next to the, vintage Sy-klone, as you can see, it's a one-to-one recreation of that figure, and it looks amazing. I really do like how this figure looks. Another thing about this figure is that he has, almost everything about this figure is, uniquely sculpted. Almost every Masters of the Universe Classics figure had that standard male buck, but not Sy-klone. As you can see, this backpack here is a molded piece. The little, thing for his radar is a new piece, so it's all one piece, and that's great. The belt's a new piece. The arms are new with these, fins. These upper legs are the same as usual, but the boots are different. So yeah, he uses a lot more new parts to him than your standard Masters of the Universe Classics figure, and I do love that. Just like the vintage figure, he has a lenticular radar on his chest. I hope the movement is actually being caught on camera, but it looks cool. I really do like, that nod. Another really cool, nod to the vintage figure is this dial. This dial actually made Sy-klone spin in the vintage toy. I can't really get him to do it since my hands are so freaking big. But yeah, see, it makes him spin. But this one doesn't. It's just sculpted there. But I really do like that inclusion. It's just a really cool Easter egg, and I'm very glad that they included it. Both Sy-klones go for a different look for the character. The, New Eternia one goes for a more modern look, while the, classic one goes for a more vintage look. And I think both of them pull it off quite nicely. And it's hard for me to decide which one I like better. So this round is a draw. Moving on to round 4, we have articulation. Both their heads are dumbbell joints, so they can look up this much, look down this much, but both get tilt and rotation. The shoulders can move up that much, with the Masterverse one moving up more. Both have a bicep swivel. The new Eternia Sy-klone has double jointed elbows, while the old classic one has single jointed elbows. Classic Sy-klone can only turn his wrists, as where the Masterverse Sy-klone can also rotate, but also hinge. The classic Sy-klone has an ab crunch, while the Masterverse one has a diaphragm joint, and they can move back that much and crunch forward that much. But the Masterverse figure can also rotate at, the diaphragm joint as well. And with this being Sy-klone, they better have the rotating waist. The Masterverse one has it, but you have to grab it by the waist to get it to turn, unless, or just the diaphragm's gonna turn. But since the Classics one has an ab crunch, it can turn with ease. The legs can kick out that much, which isn't a lot. The Masterverse figure has drop down hinges, which help a lot more with the front kick. They can kick to the side this much, which is around the same. The classic Sy-klone figure has a thigh rotation, very similar to the McFarlane style, so you can rotate up there. But the Masterverse Sy-klone has a thigh cut. The Classics figure has single jointed knees that bend in that much, but the Masterverse one, of course, has the double jointed knees that get the more range. Both have a boot cut, but as where the Classics figure can only hinge at the ankles, Masterverse figure can hinge and pivot. The Classics figure has a serviceable amount of articulation, but even by the 2010 standards, is when this figure was made, it was outdated even back then. The single jointed elbows and knees are really not helping him with anything, because at this time Toy Biz was doing Marvel Legends, and they had articulated fingers, toes, double jointed knees and elbows. They had so much articulation, and these guys were just way behind. The articulation, even by that time standard, was outdated. But the new Masterverse figure has, the articulation standard that we see today. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, its ankle pivot, and, wrist hinges as well. And it just shows, with these two, it shows the evolution of Mattel's, engineering and how they finally caught up. So this round goes to the Masterverse figure. And before we get to the final round, let's take a look at some comparisons first. Measuring these two Sy-klones out, the Masterverse one comes to around 7.5 inches, while the classic one comes to around 7. Here's both Sy-klones next to the vintage Sy-klone, and as you can see, the classic one emulates the vintage one perfectly. And here's Sy-klone next to other classics figures. We have Battle Armor He-Man and Zodak, and here's the new Masterverse Sy-klone with other Masterverse figures. And now moving on to the final round, we have price. The Masters of the Universe Classics line has been discontinued for almost 15 years. The line ended in 2013, I believe, and these figures, a lot of them in this line are very, very expensive. If they can range, into the hundreds, into the upper hundreds. It's crazy. Some of these figures can get hella expensive. But Sy-klone here is actually the more affordable figure. He retails around, he doesn't retail anymore, but you can get him for around $50 to $100. I got mine from a toy shop for only $50. But if you want that alternate, 2000X head, it is a separate release. And I was lucky enough to find the head by itself for only $20 on eBay, making the total of this figure $70. But for, others, I found it more common to find this head with the actual pack, the full pack, and the full pack ranges for, around $50 to $70. So the price may vary depending on where you find it. So again, this figure will set you back around $70 if you want it complete with the head, or to $100 if you get, the full head pack. But the new Eternia Sy-klone is shipping out right now from BBTS for only $23. So he takes the round, making him the winner of this face-off, 3-0. I hope you guys enjoyed this face-off, because I enjoyed making this video, and I been wanting to compare the classics to the Masterverse line on this channel for quite some time. Me and my dad have been collecting both lines for a bit of a while. We have a pretty big classics collection and Masterverse as well. And when we saw Sy-klone, I just wanted to have, the classics one from, when the Masterverse one was revealed, I wanted to get the classics one to make this video. And both of them are actually really good. I think the classic Sy-klone is honestly one of my favorites. I actually do like him a lot. He is really fun to mess around with. But this new Masterverse Sy-klone is so pleasing to the eye. I really do like how this Masterverse one looks. Again, they both, have a different look to them. The classic one goes for a more vintage style look, while the, new Masterverse one goes for an original modern design. So they both capture their looks pretty well. And, it's pretty hard to say which one I like better. But the Masterverse one came out on the win. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.